Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Parish Construction and Roofing. Need an orthopedist? You go to Brock. You need a roof? You call the winner, the best roofing company in the best of 225, Parish Construction and Roofing. Unique physique, unique aesthetics and wellness. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Boatcock Brothers Premium Cigars. Code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. Okay, good morning, everybody. Little late today. Drew is done with school. So depending on what our mornings and schedule looks like moving forward, we'll determine what time we're starting the show here. So I know we've been 6:45 a.m. start, but that could shift now. Hopefully we'll get in the here in the summer months with Drew into a good steady routine. He is going to be going to St. Lillian for camp throughout the summer as well. So we'll get used to the times here. Also, want to remind you. Okay, so real quick. So we start. LSU, Lane Kiffin has hired Ed Orgeron. I'm certain there's going to be a lot of people wondering my take on this. My take hasn't changed. I said this. We there we go. We were buffering there. My point then is the same as it is now. Ed Orgeron is objectively elite at two things. This is over his career, objectively true. Number one, he is a great defensive line coach. He's from the Pete Jenkins tree. That is inarguable. Wherever he has been, he has developed really good defensive linemen from Ole Miss and Southern Cal. His time at LSU, everything. He's a great defensive line coach. That's his expertise. LSU has had 8 different defensive line coaches since the spring of 2023. It started with Jamar Cain when he left. Now, you have a defensive line coach in Kevin Peoples. So I don't know what Ed's role is going to be. It said special assistant for defense and recruiting is what it said. Well, he wants to focus on helping with the defensive line. Awesome. That's one. So objectively, great defensive line coach. 2, objectively, one of the greatest recruiters that we've ever seen. Now, I think, as we've talked about, we're in an era now that is far more transactional than relational. But sometimes the relationship can be the tiebreaker if all else is equal. So from that perspective, I like it. The thing I said also prior was it's really a thing of Ed. Like, can you walk in the building where you're the head coach and won a national championship and not take the elevator up to the coach's suite, knowing someone else is in that office and you have to humble yourself and go sit in a different office? If he can do that, if you can pull in and not park in the front space that says reserved for LSU football head coach, okay. From a recruiting and defense perspective, dude's a great coach. Objectively great coach. So they get along and work all that out. Perfect. And then LSU baseball. Season came to an end last night. They lose to Auburn 3-1. Auburn threw its 2 best arms. And Butch Thompson said it going in. Auburn's trying to win this SEC tournament. And I know there's a feeling like they got their national seed locked up. They're 3 in the RPI, but they also won 17 league games. They were 6th in the conference. SEC ain't getting 6 national seeds. So their resume is good enough, but you go win a few games in Hoover and it could really lock up a national seed. So just wasn't good enough offensively for LSU last night. And oddly, the last 2 days, the pitching actually stepped up really well. So your pitching was plenty good enough the last 2 days. The offense kind of let you down against Auburn. So season comes to an end and the long offseason begins for Jay Johnson trying to remake this roster to get it back to being able to compete to get to Omaha. So, okay. Please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post with your with us live on YouTube. I would like to say, I haven't been meaning to say this. So We now have a podcast feed for Overtime with Matt Moscone. I know a lot of you asked for it. We've always been live on YouTube and Facebook. We now have a podcast feed. So I will take Morning Scone, and as soon as we're done here, I'll upload it to the podcast feed. So shout out to everybody who's listening right now on podcast. And that's also where I'll take my Overtime with Matt Moscone videos that I'm recording for YouTube. I will also podcast them as well. So if you wouldn't mind, if you go to any of your favorite podcast app and subscribe to the Overtime with Matt Moscone channel, that would be all, or podcast feed, that'd be great. Okay, let's say some good mornings. I do have an 8:15 interview, so I've only got about 15 minutes-ish here. So let's jam. Get to your questions. Hey, Trivia, good morning. Ben, good morning. Dalton, what a time to be alive. Hey, Thomas, good morning. Bubba, good to see you there. Bailey, where does this baseball season rank in terms of disappointment? I mean, it's got to be the worst, right? I mean, there have been teams that look, I was thinking about this. You think back to the 2009 National Championship, 2010, they followed it up. They were a 2 seed at UCLA. You think to the 23 National Championship, they were a 2 seed in Chapel Hill, so they traveled for regionals. I mean, there have been disappointing seasons, no doubt. But coming off a national championship and to not make the postseason, the last 3 times they didn't make the postseason, 06, last year of Smoke, 07, first year of Maneri, there just wasn't great expectation. And then 2011, under Maneri, I quite honestly think that team got hosed. Like they were 23 in the RPI. I think they won 13 or 14 league games. Like they should have been in. The excuse to keep them out was that they didn't make the SEC tournament. That's because at the time, the SEC tournament only had 8 teams. That was not a great season for LSU by any stretch, but that should have been a team in the postseason. This one is probably at the top. I mean, a team that was preseason number 1, number 2, depending on the poll, and they missed the postseason altogether. Yeah. Crazy 617, good morning. Aaron Hornsby, good morning. Hey, Brian, good morning. Back from Natchez, Louisiana. I mean, Monroe. I mean, Mississippi. Yeah, it's true. Coach O is back. It is true. LSU made the announcement formally last night. I shared on my social media the formal release, the official release that LSU sent to the media last night. Let's see. Morning, Matt. Going to be a blessed day. Hope you have a blessed day in Drew and Erica. Thank you, man. Absolutely. Hey, Sean. Good morning from Oxford. Duck. Pat, good morning. Hey, Juan, good morning. What are your thoughts on Part of My Take Boys with Lane Kiffin? Yeah, I'm going to do a Locked on LSU episode on that today. Here, not that much different than my thoughts on the Vanity Fair piece, the segregation comment notwithstanding. I think a lot of people outside of here are asking the questions that people maybe have wanted to ask since December with Kiffin leaving and everything that we've already heard him answer. So I don't feel like in the Vanity Fair piece I learned anything new, and I don't think like Lane Kiffin answered anything differently in the Part of My Take interview. Now, I've covered the program every day. Like I've listened to literally every word Lane Kiffin has said publicly since he's been hired. So there wasn't anything that I got from it. I mean, I wanted to hear, he talked about Sam Levitt, and he talked about the turnover, building a roster with that much turnover. I mean, those are the 2 things I thought were interesting. But I'm going to do a Locked On episode where I kind of go through all of it. Hey, good morning, Matt. Thanks for taking care of my mother-in-law. Absolutely, man. No, good day. Thank you for the opportunity. I don't need to, I guess your name isn't on there, so I don't need to say your name. But if you don't want anybody to know, but yeah, my pleasure. We're happy to help. If she needs anything along the way, please feel free to reach out to me. Hey, Corey. Good morning to the biggest LSU fan. Good morning to the biggest LSU fan. I'll tell you what, man. Like, I know there's people outside of here that are like painting me as like a sunshine pumper now and Will Wade apologist. Yeah, I mean, both on AFR and on Locked on LSU, I brought receipts and went in on all the hypocrites in college basketball. because it's nauseating. Like I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Will Wade is infallible. Like I still think um I still think sorry, I'm writing one note real quick so I don't forget. Boo, 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 boo. Okay. There. Like I still think RJ Lewis should never play at LSU. I got a call yesterday from someone who's trying to convince me why it's okay for them to pursue, and I just fundamentally disagree. Like the NCAA has rules that are black and white. If you sign a two-way contract, you are ineligible. He signed a two-way contract, he's ineligible. So, but they're going to go through their path, and he's going to go to court and try to get a judge to grant him an injunction, and it may work. And I'm still going to sit here and tell you he should not be playing for LSU. But all of the international players, all of them, that, and by the way, that's something Scott Drew did, that Nate Oates did, like, and then all the international players, like I read through a list of 10 international players at major schools, North Carolina, Duke, Illinois, Purdue, that they're all doing the same thing. Dudes that were professional international basketball players, some of them like 24 years old, who are playing college basketball right now. Nobody has a problem. Nobody has a problem with it until it's Will Wade. Tiger Poppy, good morning. All things after watching the Locked On episode last night, I was ready to hit the gravel at the bar. Right? I mean, that's my point. It's like, you want to know why LSU fans so staunchly defend Will Wade? That's why. Because I can run through a list of all these coaches and all these international players that were professionals overseas that came into college basketball, and nobody says peep. Will Wade does it, boom, he's a bad guy, he's bad for the sport. It's like, it is sheer hypocrisy. And when you bring receipts, it makes it even more clear. Like it's just a personal thing against Will Wade for all these people. And it's because he's out there beating North Carolina, like Salu Niang. Salu Niang, everyone's got a big problem with Wade going to sign Salu Niang. You know who else you beat? North Carolina. What if Salu Niang had ended up in North Carolina? We got a problem with that? We talked about Marcio Santos, who was in Israel the Wednesday before Santos committed to LSU. Mark Pope in Kentucky. Mark Pope flew halfway around the world to recruit Santos. That's okay, but Will Wade gets him and it's a problem? Come on. That's my issue. Hey, Rex, good morning. Thoughts? I know, kind of talked about that a little bit. Day one, you know what, Thomas? Because I don't have to go stop Drew's backpack today, I don't want to run the risk of getting in a hurry to finish the show here in about 10 minutes. So let's do it.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right, Parish Construction and Roofing. Remember, if you need orthopedics, go to Brock. You need a roof, call Parish. Unique physique, unique aesthetics and wellness. That's the GLP-1s. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Do the whole thing over telemed, and they'll ship your medicine anywhere in the country. So check them out at Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com. Restored Motions, if you're in pain, book a session with Crystal Poche. She got me rolling, man. I'm ready to go play golf on Monday. It'll be my first round in a couple of years. So we'll be out at TPC Scottsdale and hoping for the best. Y'all say a prayer for me that Crystal's got me in good enough shape to go make it through 18. And, of course, Bocock Brothers Premium Scars. All the sponsors are listed in the description on YouTube and on podcast. Morning, Matt. O makes 4 former fired coaches have returned to school. Wild to think about. Imagine if Wade feels confident. I imagine Wade feels confident most of the international players will be ruled eligible. Yeah, the only one I think that's a little, well, RJ Lewis isn't an international player, but of the international guys, the one is Yam Madar. And he had, I don't know any way to say this, forced military service, like in Israel, like he had to go serve in the military, right? So it's almost like the same rule as like the Mormon mission, where you can defer or delay your entry. So Madar, as I understand it, would, if he came over, would have 1 year of eligibility remaining. He's 25, and that's one of the ones that everybody's getting up in arms. I'm like, okay. Remember when Chris Winkie won the Heisman Trophy as a 28-year-old? Like, what are we talking about, man? Hey, Michael, good morning. Bailey, good for Drew. I miss being done with school. Now I just work till I'm retired. Tiger Diver, good morning. Maybe Jay can add pulmonary as an analyst. Wouldn't that be something? Adam, good morning. Cool to see Coach O back in Baton Rouge. Have an awesome day. 100 days to college football. All right. Corey, good morning. I should say 3 things. So there's 3 things about Ed that are undeniable. What I mentioned, if you're just joining us and missed it, there's 3 this is not, my opinion has not changed. This is the same thing I said when Lane got hired and they were talking about potentially bringing Ed back. He is objectively a great defensive line coach. He is objectively an elite recruiter. Like, that's his superpower, those 2 things. And the third is, dude loves LSU. I mean, I'm not saying, like, I'll go back to when he got hired and people are like, oh, he loves LSU, wants the job. I was like, that's not a reason to hire someone as the LSU head football coach. That was my contention when he got hired in 2016. Like, you don't get the LSU job just because you love I love LSU. They're not hiring me. In this instance, like, it's different because you're not hiring him to be the head coach. You're hiring him as a recruiting and defensive special assistant. Okay, perfect. Those are 2 things he's awesome at, and he does objectively love LSU. So yeah, like, I know that's going to surprise people because they think I have like this vendetta or whatever. It's just not true. When he was the head coach and warranted praise, I gave it. When he deserved criticism, I gave it. So anyway. Hey, Chris, first on air, go Tigers from Coach O is going to hit like a freight train. Hey, Robert, morning. Did not stay up to watch the game. Hope for better, but that's our season. Me and my brother and my dad are set for Omaha regardless. That's right. What's one thing you suggest we do outside of baseball? The Henry Dorley Zoo. It's a staple. I mean, I haven't been since they've moved it downtown. So I'm the wrong person to ask about everything to do around there. If someone's been, maybe they could drop you some comments and suggestions. Hey, Christian, 108 days left. Chance, LSU has rehired 3 fired coaches. You're forgetting James Craig. That's 4. So Will Wade, Johnny Jones, Ed Orgeron. Oh, head coaches. I'm sorry, head coaches. You're right. Head coaches. My apologies. Head coach. You're right. 3 head coaches. But you can throw James Craig in that mix. Remember, James Craig was fired for cause for the recruiting violations it was all the impermissible contact during COVID and stuff. It was like with the Tristan Lee stuff. And so he was fired for cause, sued LSU, won, and then LSU won on appeal, and LSU still rehired him. I mean, they give Lane Kiffin whatever he wants, man. Austin, good morning. I share everyone's excitement about Coach O coming back. Also okay with baseball ending so Jay can start the rebuild. I think we all know this was it's how this was going to go, right? Hope they could keep playing and extend it, but it was going to end in disappointment, and it just happened to be last night. So I did stay up and watch the game. If you did not watch the game, you missed kind of a dramatic top of the 9th. The umpire rung up 2 strikeouts that LSU challenged and on ABS overturned into walks. One was Derek Curry. So Derek Curry's final at bat as a Tiger. I'm assuming it'll be his final at bat as a Tiger. It looked like he was going to get called like he struck out looking, and he challenged, and it was a ball, and so he got his base. So Blue was ready to go home. Rehired 3 coaches we previously fired. Bad boys of the SEC are back. 4, James Craig. Hey, J.W. Bates, good morning. Welcome back, Coach O. Tom, good morning. Nola Rocks, can you settle a debate? Is the SEC or Big Ten the better conference? So tired of hearing about the championships. SEC is a gauntlet, is the Big Ten. It's a little tough because the Big Ten has 18 teams now. The SEC's at 16. But if you were just to go 1-1, 2-2 down, I think the top of the conferences are pretty even. I think the middle and bottom is where the SEC probably has a little better depth. It's hard to argue against the championships, and also the SEC has not been in the championship for 3 years. So those are undeniable truths. And I think the SEC going to 9 league games only complicates that. Because remember, now the SEC's and you say, well, the Big Ten's at 9. That's true. But the Big Ten doesn't have a Power 4 non-conference mandate. The SEC still does. So like LSU is going to play 9 league games and Clemson this year. So I think it's going to be even more complicated. Lane talked about this on the Part of My Take podcast about how you're going to be more beat up by the time you get there. And it's like, it's the point I make all the time. Like, I want equitable scheduling across the board for that very reason. You shouldn't be rewarded for not playing a difficult schedule. Period. And that happens right now. Corey, Kelly, trivia. Jay gave up when he put York in. Well, he gave York and Yaman at bats. Caraway got in. I was okay. Look, York's a senior. He gave him an at bat. I don't mind it. Struck out on 3 pitches, but Antonio, good morning. If I asked you next year, Lane Kiffin would be coach. 12 months ago, if I asked you Lane Kiffin would be coach, LSU would have hired Kiffin, Will Wade, LSU baseball. It's the worst season ever. No, I mean, definitely not. Like, the Kiffin thing, too, is, I mean, I know people love to play the clip of me before the LSU Ole Miss game this year, and it's fine. I mean, but remember, the context of that is Lane Kiffin in 2024 had the best Ole Miss roster ever, and they went 9-3. They lost to Kentucky, which was Kentucky's only league win. They lost in Baton Rouge in overtime, a game where LSU never led until overtime. And they lost to Florida, which was a sub-500 Florida team. Like, Lane Kiffin stock wasn't exactly high 12 months ago. And remember, at 12 months ago, Brian Kelly had built the #1 transfer portal class. So we were all, and Nuss was back, and Harold Perkins was back. We were super high on LSU football. So, yeah, the Wade thing I would have believed, because they tried to make it happen a year ago. Like, Lee Mallett and Jeff Landry tried to make the Wade thing happen a year ago. That is not a surprise. The 12 months ago, the Kiffin thing would have been a very surprise. And baseball, of course. I mean, okay. I got to get rolling, y'all. Patrick Gummogan, they hate us because they're scared of us. They know if Wade and LSU were good, it's over for the rest of the sport. Jack, Bobby, good morning. Appreciate you. I got to go, y'all. My apologies. Scrolling to the bottom. Thomas, 153 down. Let's go. Okay. I got to go. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Shout out, we're on podcast now as well. Again, for those who maybe are just joining us, if you search Overtime with Matt Moscona, you should be on all your podcast apps. So please search Overtime with Matt Moscona. It's my old LSU daily feed. I converted my old LSU daily feed into Overtime with Matt Moscona. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe on podcast as well. All right, y'all have a great day. We'll see you. Peace.